Good morning, sir. I am Nikki Janice Healy from Section Golf, and I am going to discuss all about hexagon in nature. Hexagon in particular are often seen in nature, but definitely not the only. Basalt columns and insects' eyes also form hexagonal pattern. Have you ever wandered around in nature? You may have noticed how many geometric shapes are there in the world that have absolutely no design from humans. Take snail shell spiral or starfish's bodies or the symmetries of a flower's petal. All those nature things are out there on their own, existing in near mathematical perfection. Well, as it turns out, it really is all about math. Hexagonal packing also minimizes the parameter for a given area because of its 120-degree angle. With this structure, the pool of surface tension in each direction is most mechanically stable, which is why, though bees make their honeycombs with circular units, the end result when the wax hardens into place is hexagonal. The hexagon is the strongest shape known. In the hexagonal grid, each line is as short as it can possibly be if a large area is to be filled with fewest number of hexagon. This means that honeycombs require less wax to construct and gain lots of strength under compression. Hexagons are typically 6 straight sides of equal length. You may see snowflakes in that pattern. Beehives, ice crystal are other common occurrences of hexagon in real life. Hexagon are some of the most common shape in nature. And while animals can't do math, we can. And thanks to math, we can come to the conclusion that hexagon is the most efficient shape in nature and in the world. Honeycombs are a structure made from the wax secreted by bees. Their purpose is to store honey, pollen, and larvae. For 1,000 years, we have admired the hexagonal structure of the honeycomb. Snowflakes contain 6 sides or points owing to the way in which they form. The molecules in ice crystal join to one another in a hexagonal structure, an arrangement which allows water molecule, each with 1 oxygen and 2 hydrogen atoms, to form together in the most efficient way. Bubbles always try to minimize surface area. 2 bubbles will merge to share a common wall. If your bubbles are of uniform size, you will notice that the cells form hexagon and start to look much like the cell of a beehives. Bees, like bubbles, try to be as efficient as possible when making the comb. That ends my discussion about hexagon in nature. Once again, this is Nikki Jane Healy from Section Golf. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. This is my video about the video you sent in LMS, and this is my answer about your question you sent. Number 1 question: what the math concept is fully discussed on your assigned video? And this is my answer, sir. The concept of the video is all about the golden ratio and Fibonacci in music. Number 2 question: what is about this concept? Cite few more real-world case or example that will show the concept. And this is my answer, sir. This concept is all about the golden ratio and Fibonacci. The example of this is a shell and the petals of a flowers. Number 3 question: what are your insight about this mathematical trust or certainties? This is my answer, sir. For me, the mathematical is one of the most difficult and numerous logic that not everyone know yet. And that's all, sir. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mr. Johnny Subita from Section Golf. Today I'm going to discuss the 3 questions on the golden ratio and Fibonacci in music. First question is, what math concept is thoroughly discussed on your assigned video? My answer is, the math concept that discussed on the video is all about the golden ratio and Fibonacci sequence, and what are the importance of these two. Second question is, what is about this concept? Cite few more real-world cases or example that would show the concept patterns. It's all about mathematics patterns and its music. Example is natural patterns include waves, cracks, or lightning. Man-made patterns are often used in design and can be abstract, such as those used in mathematics, science, and languages, and other kind of pattern. Last question is, what are your insights about this mathematical truth or certainties? My insight about mathematical truth or certainties is mathematics help us to know more about in math, such as pattern, because pattern is the heart of math. Without pattern, math is useless because we use pattern to identify.
Good day, sir. I am genuinely Dungay and I'm going to answer the 3 questions about Fibonacci sequence. Number 1. What the concept is fully discussed on your assigned video. The golden ratio, also known as a math concept that is fully discussed in the assigned video. Number 2. What is about these concepts? Cite few more real-world cases or examples that will show the concept. The golden ratio is the irrational number p. It has no ending numbers and many people believe that is growth in nature. Golden spiral. Aside from the example in the video, the golden ratio, for example, is the distance between the navel and the floor, as well as the distance between the top of the head and the navel. In animals, dolphins, the eye, fins, and tail all fall at golden sections. Starfish, sand dollars, sea urchins, ants, and honeybees all have similar inclination. Number 3. What are your insights about these mathematical truths or certainties? This is my answer. This mathematical truth of the video is just not a number, but it has a big role in everything in the universe, whether visible or audible, from the past to present. And that's all, sir. Thank you.
Good morning, sir. I am Kenneth John Paul R. Moran. This is our assigned video. Number 1. What math concept is fully discussed in your assigned video? Answer is, the topic of the video discussed is all about the golden ratio and Fibonacci sequence. Number 2 question. What is about the concept? Cite few more real-world cases or example that will show the concept. My answer is golden ratio and Fibonacci. My example of this is a rose, because if you take the mathematical relationship of any two adjacent rose petals and divide them, they always come out as a pie. Number 3 question. What are your insights about these mathematical truths or certainties? My answer is, my insight on mathematical truths is when we combine mathematical and music, it is more difficult to understand.
Good day everyone, I'm Ivan Eneminio from Section Golf, and this is my answer. Number 1 question. What math concept is fully discussed on your assigned video? My answer is, it tackle about Fibonacci sequence, especially the golden rule. Number 2. What is about this concept? Cite few more real-world cases or example that would show the concept. So, answer is, the concept of this is like a pie. It has no ending. It continues. It looks like universe. It can be also used in music. Number 3. What are your insights about these mathematical truths or certainties? Answer is, it gives us the idea that this has no ending. Also, can help us in our lives. So, yun lang sir. Thank you po ng marami.
Good day, sir. This is Russell Garzon from Section Golf. And this is my answer about the video you sent to Luis. The math concept that was discussed in the video was all about the golden ratio. It tells that in each corner of this world there's an existence of patterns, or there's an even sequence. For example, counting the petals of a flower. Just by doing it, we can make a simple sequence just like the Fibonacci sequence, and unconsciously seeing the golden ratio is there. And my insight about the mathematical truths or certainties is that it is truly observable as I encountered such pattern, order, and sequence in my existence, and I'm positive that I'm about to discover more of it.
Good evening, sir. This is my video about the video you sent in LMS, and this is my answer. You send a question. First, what the math concept is fully discussed on your video. This is my answer, sir. The concept of the video is all about the golden ratio and Fibonacci in music. Number 2, what is about this concept? Cite few more real-world is or example that would show the concept. This is my answer, sir. This concept is all about the golden ratio and Fibonacci. The example is rational numbers 5. Number 3, what are your insights about this mathematical truth or certainties? My answer, sir, is for me, the mathematics is one of most difficult and most numerous of logic that not everyone knows yet, and something that will definitely happen. Thank you, sir. That's all.
Good day, sir. My name is Kirby Lopez from Section Golf. So the group to assign video, sir, is the golden ratio and Fibonacci in music. And I am now going to discuss what I have learned on our assigned video based on the given questions. So question number 1, what math concept is fully discussed on the assigned video? So the golden ratio means the ratio of the two quantities is the same as the ratio of their sum to the larger value of the two quantities. So ibig sabihin, sir, kay kanang ang ratio sa duha ka value kay equal sa ratio sa pinakamalaking given na value. So mo to siya, sir. So the Greek symbol phi o katong pi nga na ikaw kay represents the golden ratio. So it also considered as a rational number or tinatawag ding golden mean or golden section. Ang value ng golden ratio ay p katong phi, then 1 is equal to 1.618 and so on. So the way number 2, what is the concept? Cite few more real world cases or example that show the concept. So number 2, sir. So ang one way that best explain golden ratio is using the Fibonacci sequence. Ang Fibonacci sequence is simple lang po. You just add the two prior numbers or term to find the next term. For example, you will start at 0 plus 0, 1 is equals to 1, then 1 plus 1 is equals to 2, 1 plus 2 is equals to 3, 2 plus 3 is equals to 5, 3 plus 5 is equals to 8, 5 plus 8 is equals to 13, 8 plus 13 is equals to 31, and so on po. Then, so if we find the ratio of this sequence, we can see that it remains constant po, even how long we follow the Fibonacci sequence. So the ratio remains 1:1.6 po. Okay. For example po, we have a rectangle and this ratio is 1:1.6, or the width is 1 and the length is 1.6. And if you're going to put series of triangle inside sa itong sa first na nga triangle po, so we can find or we can plot ang kanang golden spiral po using we can plot the points sa kilid sa katong mga nabuhat na natong rectangle. So example ana is our kanang sa atong real life example is our Milky Way galaxy. Tapos kanang shell po sa kanang kool, kanang makitanggol sa mga kanal. Then sa flowers, sa infrastructures, katong mga points dito sa infrastructures. Then sa dagan pa po. Then also we can find Fibonacci sequence in sa kanang music po. Then last one is what are your insights about these mathematical truths and certainties. So, golden ratio and Fibonacci sequence is very important po. There are a lot of things sa atong surroundings that we usually use or see that we do not know na example na dahil siya sa Fibonacci sequence po. Then example na sa Fibonacci sequence or sa golden ratio. So, that would be all po. Thank you po.
Good day everyone, my name is Alvin Logronio, first year criminology student from Section Golf. Based on the video seen, we've learned that our universe is painted with numbers from the plants, things, animals, and paintings, as well as music. These are painted with numbers, and this concept can be explained through the uniqueness properties of Fibonacci sequence, which ties directly into the golden ratio because if we take any two successive Fibonacci numbers, the ratio is very close to the golden ratio. Thus, the golden ratio can be seen everywhere around us. Yet, not only can be seen, but also can be heard because musical frequencies are based on Fibonacci ratios. Accordingly, my insight about mathematics is that probably the language of the universe because everything we can see around us is numbers. There will be no music, flowers, paintings, buildings, and so on because only mathematics can measure anything. Thus, without it, we can do nothing. And thank you.
Hi, welcome to this video. In this video, we will discuss about the Fibonacci sequence and the golden ratio. What is Fibonacci sequence? The Fibonacci sequence is one of the most famous formula in mathematics. Each number in the sequence is the sum of the two numbers that precede it. So, the sequence goes 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, and so on. It's been called nature's secret code and nature's universal rule. Just take a look at the pattern it creates and you can instantly recognize how this sequence works in nature like an underlying universal grade. And what is the golden ratio? The golden ratio is a design concept based on using the Fibonacci sequence to create visually appealing proportion in art, architecture, and graphic design. The proportion, size, and placement of one element compared to another creates a sense of harmony that our subconscious mind is attracted to. Cite more real-world cases example that would show the concept. A perfect example of this is the Nautilus shell, whose numbers adhere to the Fibonacci sequence logarithmic spiral almost perfectly. This famous pattern shows up everywhere in nature, including flowers, pine cones, hurricanes, and even huge spiral galaxies in space. But the Fibonacci sequence doesn't just stop at the nature. In graphic design, we refer to it as the golden ratio. It can be applied to everything from logo design, print design, and website design. What is your insight about this mathematical truth or certainties? As designer, there are no rules when it comes to creating an aesthetic or an effective design for a project. Sometimes we find that the golden ratio works perfectly in application, while other times we come up with a great idea that doesn't necessarily follow the rules. There is an ongoing debate among the graphic designers, mathematicians, and scientists about whether the golden ratio in a relation to design is a myth, but there is plenty of evidence, not only in nature but creative design, that prove that the ratio to be a solid tool for us designer. It can be helpful when creating a grid for a layout, finding the perfect wrapping for a photo, or figuring out sizes for the type hierarchy when picturing content, just to name a few. Overall, it's an interesting way to look at mathematical lens, and we think it's fascinating to identify where and how it is used in the world around us. That's all, and thank you.
Good day. I am Rizal Maghinay, first year BS Criminology from Section Golf. For this video, I am going to answer the 3 questions in our topic, the golden ratio and the Fibonacci of music. First question: what math concept is fully discussed on your assigned video? The answer: the golden ratio is about 1.60810 and represented by the Greek meter pi. The second question: what is about this concept? The answer: divide the lengths of the specific parts of the violin to find the golden ratio throughout the violin. The golden ratio of the Fibonacci sequence is also applied in the acoustic design of some cathedrals. The third and the final question: what is your insight about these mathematical truths or certainties? The answer: math is present in our daily aspect of our lives. It is inextricably linked to our daily lives. We simply need to recognize that mathematical truths and certainties exist in our daily lives and learn from them in order to progress. And that is all. Thank you.
Good day everyone, I am Shana May Abderkasad and I'm going to answer the following questions about the Fibonacci sequence. First, what math concept is fully discussed in the assigned video? The math concept that is fully discussed in the assigned video is about the arithmetic sequence of Fibonacci numbers. Second, what is about this concept? Cite few more real words, cases or examples that would show concept. The Fibonacci sequence is claimed to have been created by Mr. Leonardo Pisano Bigoglio in the early 30th century, although it was known long before by Indian mathematicians around the 60th century. Either ways, the Fibonacci sequence, as it's now called, has captivated mathematicians and artists alike for its beautiful relationship to the constant pi. Third, what are your insights about these mathematical truths or certainties? My answer is by knowing more about this Fibonacci number. When you explore more about Fibonacci number, you will discover a lot about the patterns of the Fibonacci numbers. And that would be all. Thank you.
Good day, sir. I'm Dicky Ubongin Jr. from Section Golf. The math concept in the video is the golden ratio and Fibonacci in the music. And all about this concept is the golden ratio can be found throughout the violin by dividing lengths of specific parts of the violins. And the insight about this mathematical truth or certainties is composers and instrument makers have been using the Fibonacci sequence and the golden ratio for hundreds of years to compose and create music. That's all, sir. Thank you.
So today we will discuss the 3 guide question. What math concept is fully discussed on your assigned video? The video is all about Fibonacci sequence. Question number 2. What is about this concept? Fibonacci sequence is one of the famous formulas in mathematics. Each number in the sequence is the sum of the 2 preceding ones starting from 0 and 1. Like for example, so Fibonacci sequence equals 0 plus 1 equals 1, 1 plus 1 equals 2. This number is an adding number, and so on. Question number 3. What are your insights about this mathematical truth or certainties? Mathematical phenomenon that has attracted the attention of thinkers from all disciplines and periods since it was discovered.
Morning, sir. My name is Christian Iwansel from Section Gold. This is my 3 questions, sir. My number 1 question, sir. What math concept is fully discussed on your assigned video? My answer, sir. It's all about golden ratio and Fibonacci sequence and music. Number 2 question, sir. What is about this concept? Cite few more real words case on example that would show the concept. My answer, sir. More on mathematics and about music. Number 3 question, sir. What are your insight about this mathematical truths or synthesis? My answer, sir. Golden ratio and about pi and found everywhere, and also about music. And golden ratio is national pi. Thank you, sir.
Good morning, sir. My name is Lisa Galigao. For today's video, I am going to answer the 3 questions. First question is, what math concept is fully discussed in your assigned video? So in our video, it fully discussed about golden ratio and Fibonacci sequence, which is described as a part in sound of field. The second question is, what is about this concept? Cite few real-world cases or examples that show the concept. So the example is Mother Nature. We can see it in petals of the flower. The third question is, what are your insights about these mathematical truths or certainties? So, as a music lover, I can say that yes, it is true, because as I see in the video, there are parts of the notes that make a boundaries to change the notes, and it is very unique to hear, and it's nice because in the example of under pressure, they use pi moment to change another notes. And that's all my understanding to the video you assigned in our group. Once again, good morning, sir.
That ends the discussion of Group 2.